What is going on, guys? It is Laker Nation all day. You know how we do it in here. It's all about us. And the game's not over, but you see it on the screen that we're winning by 23 points in the fourth quarter. So I'm just going to start recording now. I've come to the conclusion that there is no way that the Lakers are going to lose this game. And before I actually go into the game, I just want to note that this was, it was a good win, regardless if it was against the 5-win Magic. When you're a team like the Lakers, a new team, a team with injuries, a team with, having different rotations out there, trying to experiment things, right? When you're a team like that, it's crucial to get wins like these anytime. Okay, and I'm just sitting here saying that the Lakers are looking much, much better than even just last week. Right, you look at this Laker team, and in the beginning of the season, they couldn't do this. They could not get big leads like this and just take care of business. We saw it against the Thunder 2 times, right? They couldn't win those games even though they're up double digits. And then they're up against Minnesota, right? And then they lose that game big time. So time and time again, we haven't been able to see this Laker team take care of business until now, right? I mean, we've seen them beat the Pistons a couple times. We've seen them beat the Magic, like in this game. So what I'm saying is that is growth, regardless of whatever haters want to say. Up 25 points in the fourth quarter, probably going to win by double digits. It was just a good win, taking care of business, building momentum. That's what it is for the Lakers. And the reason why I sound a little more happy with this win as opposed to the OKC win is because obviously you broke your winning streak by losing to the Grizzlies without Ja Morant and Dillon Brooks, right? So if you beat OKC, I needed to see more. And that was building back-to-back wins, trying to build some kind of winning streak to really get some momentum on our side. So when we play in these future games, whether it's against Dallas or whoever it is, we can feel more confident about ourselves. And a way to improve team chemistry overall is to win. Winning helps that. And it doesn't matter who it's against. Obviously, if they've beaten the Celtics, right? They've beaten the Heat. So we've seen that they're capable of beating good teams. And now they're beating teams like the Magic, right? Just taking care of business. That's what I believe a title contender is. Beating the teams that you need to beat, and then go at least 500 on the title contenders. So the Lakers looking pretty solid so far. I know starting 15-13 in the season. Honestly, that's what I expected. This team was not going to start off first in the West. This team was not going to start off 20-0 like Twitter people be saying. But we're taking care of business. But let's actually go into the game now because there's one player I wanted to talk about. LeBron James. I honestly don't know where we would be without him. And after he's been getting criticism, for the either the load management he's been doing this season, or the games that he just doesn't play well again, like against the Clippers, right? Ever since that game, he has been turning it on ever since. And there's so many times in the first quarter, right? We started off pretty well. Then the Magic obviously outscored us towards the end of it. But without LeBron, man, we wouldn't have the energy. We wouldn't be able to go on a run. He really did it all. So far, these are not final stats, like I mentioned before. 25 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 3 blocks, 10 of 16 from the field, and 2 of 6 from 3. Honestly, whatever LeBron did, whatever you can think of in the game of basketball, LeBron probably did. Rebounding, passing, scoring, 3-point shooting. Whatever the case is, LeBron did it. And really, he led the way. This is what I want to see from LeBron. It just kind of annoys me how sometimes you can see LeBron play like 50% because he's load managing against a garbage team, and then we might end up losing it because of that. I don't want to see that. This is the kind of LeBron I want to see, where he just goes out there and dominates, right? The way he just dominated is the reason, the only reason why we're even up this much, right? So if you're looking at it from, a resting perspective in terms of how much rest he can get, hypothetically speaking, if you just blow out a team to begin with, you can get rest in the fourth quarter. You can relax more and more often as the games progress. So LeBron did his thing, man. Defensively, he was one of the biggest reasons why we just went on that third quarter blow up, right? 36-10 in the third quarter. That's also another thing I wanted to see. Can we keep on continuing this third quarter hot streak that we've been on, right? Obviously, in the beginning of the year, you saw us that we were being outscored in the third quarter every single game. But now you're seeing the Lakers really turn it on in the third quarter. And that's what great teams do. You think about a team like the Warriors, right? You might be able to compete with them in the first half like any team could, but in the third quarter, that's their quarter to go off. And that's what I've been seeing the Lakers do for the past few games, the past week. So that's all about the growth that I'm talking about. And, it all started with LeBron. He was leading the way, and he deserves his props, man. I mean, I feel like when people criticize him for fair reasons, right, it might seem unfair at times, but LeBron's the best player on our team by far. He's leading by example. We're going to get this win because of him. Another player I wanted to talk about was Dwight Howard once again. Dwight Howard, you can say, oh, well, he only had 5 points. But, it's really just about being the defensive anchor of our team. 3 steals and a block, right? Contesting shots. I mean, I just love it when Dwight Howard plays, and Frank Vogel understands that. Frank Vogel, he was being criticized and maybe even on the hot seat for a little bit by a lot of fans. But Frank Vogel has really adjusted his rotations much, much better. I mean, you see the rotations and the minute distribution. I mean, I love it when Dwight Howard could play 20 to 22 minutes a game. I think that's how he could be the most effective. If you watched our championship season, then JaVale McGee played those similar minutes. He didn't play the entire game, obviously, but he played those minutes to get us started, to set the tone, defense, rebounding, contesting shot, energy, hustle, all those things Dwight Howard brings to the table. Russell Westbrook, he didn't necessarily have the best game, right? He had 5 turnovers. Maybe you wish you could see him be a little bit more aggressive, but I'm just saying it doesn't really bug me because we're winning, and if we're winning games and Russ still has a plus minus a plus 8, it doesn't bug me too much. He shot 6 of 13 from the field so far. I mean, I'm not worried. Russ is not one of those guys who's going to have these kind of games every single game. He's obviously going to come back and play even better. I mean, that's his goal, right? He's a very competitive player, and I'm not worried about him and his fit with the Lakers moving forward. I'm feeling really confident with Russ because this is one of those games where it's been a while since he's played, maybe average or below average. We haven't seen this since against Boston, in Boston. I mean, that was like 8 games ago, you know what I mean? So I'm not even worried about Russell Westbrook. And then a couple of other players I wanted to talk about was Talen Horton-Tucker. Talen Horton-Tucker, obviously in the first few games that he came back, he played really, really well. And then he got that cast on his thumb, and then he's been playing poorly ever since. But the past few games, you've been seeing that he's been kind of adjusting better and better. 18 points, 3 assists, and 4 steals so far. I mean, Talen Horton-Tucker, like I mentioned before, he has the potential to be an all-star in this league one day. I'm really excited for Talen Horton-Tucker. And I know this is just against the Magic, but this is still a professional basketball game. And we've seen Talen Horton-Tucker before in the playoffs. We've seen Talen Horton-Tucker before last season. It just seems like he's getting better and better as the years progress, and that's what you want to see with the young player. You think about our roster, and with older age players that we have, you want to see some young guys, and Malik Monk, Talen Horton-Tucker, Kendrick Nunn's not even playing yet. So I'm excited for the Laker future, not just now, but for a future. That's why I look at players like Talen Horton-Tucker. That's why I highlight players like Malik Monk. Is when they have good games on a team like this with so much pressure, it means that they're able to overcome those obstacles and really perform like the way that they should be doing. And that wasn't something that we were able to see with Kuzma as much, obviously because the fit wasn't there, but also because he kind of lacked confidence from time to time. And then Carmelo Anthony, speaking of Kuzma, I mean, Carmelo Anthony, like I mentioned before, he is someone who can just score at least 12 points a game, it seems, like every single game. And to have someone off the bench like that, I mean, I'm just looking at this game overall, and this really highlights how good our team can be. And this was without Anthony Davis. Obviously, there's a lot of criticism going on with AD, but I expect him to come back healthy and just hopefully dominate. But honestly, we're looking good without AD as well. We're playing faster. We have more energy. Just the aura in the game. You can just sense it that there's something building, and I'm excited. But that's all I have for this one, man. I mean, drop a like if you guys enjoyed it. Comment down below what your guys' thoughts were on the Lakers' blowout win against the Magic, and subscribe for more. Alright, guys, peace out, and go Lakers.